This is an historic moment. Commander Willis is about to end her 28-year mission to Saturn. Major Schultz, what condition will she be in?
Then it's hard to say.
We believe she's been in hypersleep for most of the voyage.
She hasn't aged a year.
How am I doing? There's another call for you, Commander.
Welcome back, Commander. Mike Johnson, New York Life. I thought you might want to get together to see how you're doing financially.
So all those plans you put in place 28 years ago?
Your future is coming. Get the most out of life with New York Life.
You're watching Sleepcore. Pleasant dreams.
Armored Gideon annihilates all demons who break through into the real world. Rogue Trooper, fighting to stay alive on New Earth. Mambo, endowed with special psi powers, she polices the new world. Slain, battles into his future to fight the invading Caesarians. Judge Dredd, judge, jury, and executioner.
2000 AD, rated creep.
Communication terminated. 2000 AD. The future is here.
Hey, quiet, please. Quiet, please. Quiet. All right, class. I've organized you into groups of 2. Each group will be assigned one of the Persian Wars to report on in a 300-word presentation for tomorrow. Will, since you're at home with a track injury, I've given you the Battle of Marathon.
What?
You'll be working with Eileen.
Oh, great.
And Randy, you'll be working with Ashley on the Battle of Ionia.
Honest, Dad, things were a lot easier when you were a kid. I mean, even with a broken leg, I can't escape school. When you were young, being sick meant you could sit home and watch game shows and sitcoms all day.
I really sympathize with you there, Will. You know, you have a lot of advantages that I never had.
Hi, Will. Ready to get started?
Yeah, I guess so. But I just don't see what some Revolutionary War battle in Marathon, New York, has to do with track.
No, silly. This Battle of Marathon was fought in 490 BC in Greece and has something to do with running a marathon. Get it? I've already accessed the school database and found that the Battle of Marathon was considered to be one of the turning points in East-West culture.
Sure, but how about the running part?
I haven't found that yet, Will. That has something to do with the battle. I've started with the social and political ramifications. Why don't you find out about that? And let's video conference after dinner.
Oh, all right. Bye.
Bye.
Access library database.
Accessing, Will.
Select best resource for Persian Wars.
Library of Hellenic Studies, Yale University. Should I access?
Yes.
Accessing. Select subject matter.
Number 7. Battle of Marathon.
Select medium, text or audiovisual.
Text. Number 4. Philippides run to Sparta. Freeze. Enlarge full frame. Window. Scroll text. Freeze. Wow, where did you find that?
I accessed the database of the American Film Archives. It was easy.
Great. I found a whole lot of stuff on the battle and the run of Philippides. Wow, what a guy. He ran the 140 miles from Athens to Sparta in 2 days, then ran back to fight at Marathon, and then ran the 26.2 miles from Marathon to Athens after the battle to tell of the victory. Then he died. And listen to this. Marathon got its name from Philippides' run. Here, I'll send it to you.
Great.
Place video, phone, and window, and send Philippides' file. Hi, Dad. What a great story. I'm just sending my write-up of the run of Philippides to Eileen. She'll edit it into her stuff, and we're done.
Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting. Say, what's this about this Philippides fellow?
He just made me think, Dad. He was a guy who ran all over the place and finally died trying to get information from one place to another. Maybe the way we get information these days isn't so bad after all.
Where are the cars we were promised? The land-based rocket ships. The cars with shapes we had seen only in our dreams. And cockpits full of computers and video screens. Where are the cars that are invisible to the wind and know where you're going better than you do? Where are the cars we were promised? They're closer than you think. Introducing the new Infinities. Infinity, accelerating the future.
You're watching Sleepcore, media for insomnia.
The search for better automobile fuel efficiency in a practical, marketable, and even beautiful package took a giant step forward in 1992 with the introduction of GM's new Ultralight vehicle at the North American International Auto Show in Detroit. Ultralight is not only an evolution in cutting-edge technology, it's a revolution in the way the auto industry will think about fuel efficiency in the future. It required dramatic new thinking and demonstrates GM's ability to lead the way. GM's research and development of lightweight carbon fiber is a key feature in Ultralight's fuel efficiency, as its name suggests. But weight is not the only innovation that makes Ultralight the success that it is.
This car is exciting in 100 ways. This car is designed to go over 100 miles an hour. As a matter of fact, 135 miles per hour is our projected top speed. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, or 0 to 60, in less than 8 seconds, and it's got 100 design features. It is really impressive.
The car was conceived in a brainstorming session. We wanted to do a car that would get great fuel efficiency, and we needed to explore some new technology to do this. We needed to do a lightweight car. We knew that, so we got carbon fiber, and that gave us the weight reduction that we needed to help us get this good fuel efficiency.
In this car we've got an engine that weighs 175 pounds, but it produces 111 horsepower, which gives the car an amazing performance.
The whole car only weighs about 1,400 pounds. Now this is a vehicle that is a 4-passenger car that has the interior accommodations of, say, something like the Corsica today, a nice family-size, compact sort of car, something you might expect to see a lot of in the year 2000 and 2005. But it's more than half, or less than half, the weight of a car, like the Corsica. The fuel economy at, let's say, a steady state 50 miles per hour is 100 miles per gallon.
It has outstanding aerodynamics to minimize aerodynamic drag. We have a drag coefficient of 0.19, which is exceptionally low compared to today's cars, which are about 0.33.
We've got level control, and the vehicle will go up and down with speeds, so that at high speeds it squats down on the road further to lower the center of gravity. That gives you better stability and also reduces the drag coefficient. So it's more than carbon fiber and more than just emissions and fuel economy. At the end of the day, it's got to be a car that you say, I want to go for a ride in this car. I want to take this car home.
An advanced GM two-stroke internal combustion engine coupled with a Saturn production automatic transmission is the basis for ultralight's fuel efficiency.
Well, essentially it produces all the power in 2 strokes instead of 4 strokes. You get a firing pulse every cycle of the piston instead of a firing stroke every other cycle of the piston, and it uses no valves. Now, it's not a mystery. This is technology that's been available for a lot of years. What is the mystery, and what we've made some breakthroughs in, is the way in which we manage the fuel and the exhaust so we meet emission standards.
But ultralight is a lot more than just mileage.
The headlights feature a central light source, and the fiber optic feeds the light out to lenses. We think that'll be on future production cars here in the 4 to 5 year span. The taillights are LEDs, and we're currently using that on some high-mounted stoplights. So ultralight car showcases advanced lighting throughout the whole car.
The ultralight interior features a virtual image display near the instrument panel and a high-mounted vent for the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning unit. Newly developed dual-flex seats provide the knee room of a mid-size sedan, and the web design allows increased breathability for added comfort. The gull-wing entry-exit system eliminates the B pillar and allows the rear passengers to easily exit the vehicle in an example of design-following function. The vehicle also has 4 safety airbags, 1 for each passenger. The ultralight is a technological marvel, but practicality dominates its design as well. The engine and rear wheels are a modular unit or pod. The whole mechanism detaches quickly from the vehicle. This concept could allow the customer to choose from several powertrain options.
With the ultralight, for instance, we've looked at a gas turbine powertrain option, an all-electric powertrain option, a propane-powered option, and of course what's in there right now is our 2-stroke 3-cylinder gasoline powertrain.
From a service perspective, you can imagine going in for service on your engine or your air conditioning, by the way, which is also attached, pulling it out using a substitute pod simply to get you back to work or back home, and coming back a few days later and converting, or just staying with the substitute pod, keeping that as a new engine transmission pod for your vehicle, and virtually eliminating the time it takes to service your vehicle at the dealership.
Ultralight is not your average car. But how did all that science find its way into this GM showcase? It took vision, research, and teamwork.
General Motors has always been in the process of leading production with research and development. We always have to step way beyond what the requirements are today to look to see what's possible. The reason that General Motors is successful with its fuel efficiency in the marketplace today is because of effective research and development in the past.
Advanced engineering staff also did the engine and driveline and suspension and steering. Design staff did the overall vehicle architecture and both interior and outside aesthetics. GM Research Labs helped us on our fuel economy studies. Also provide the material for the dual flex seats. Inland Fisher Guide on the advanced lighting, Delco Electronics on engine management, and Delco Products on the air spring suspension.
All 4 of our technical staffs worked together from the very beginning, identified the requirements for this car, sketched it out, modeled it, and then took it to production. And they did that simultaneously. You can't do that in 100 days unless you've worked as a team.
There's an individual spirit in the design we do, and I think that spirit comes from the close-knit
people we have here, the designers, the sculptors, the engineers that work together as a family, and they have a spirit of their own physically in the studio, and the spirit comes through the car.
We did learn some things on this project that I think will filter into a lot of our other projects in terms of how to get them done quickly and what decisions need to be made and when they need to be made.
Ultralight's future is no doubt embedded in fierce competition. Still, it's a learning tool, and what it's teaching the world speaks volumes about GM and GM technology.
Here's an example of us deciding to do something, us deciding to make a knockout vehicle that blows away the competition in the concept car arena. It's better than anything I saw at Tokyo. It's better than anything I saw at the Frankfurt auto shows. It just tells you that we have the capability to do anything.
It is, of course, a kind of a laboratory for us, and so its immediate future is going to be to continue testing and development, and then from there I think that we will continue to develop some of the other powertrains that we've talked about for the vehicle, and from there we hope that things will proceed in bits and pieces towards our production cars.
Well, the way we do that is we reach, we stretch, we learn from platforms like the Ultralight to see what's possible and to develop things that might today seem impossible, but to make them possible within a few years.
It's through concept cars like the Ultralight that GM is putting new designs, materials, and technologies to the test. There is a commitment to excellence and a determination to maximize resources from everyone involved. There is much to be learned for the future of automobiles and the future of GM.
Trying to get everything rolled into one package, I think, was one of our major achievements here, and I think that says something for General Motors that the rest of the world isn't saying right now.
I've been in General Motors for 31 years, and I am always impressed with General Motors' capability. When we decide to do something, there's no one in the world that can do it better.
I know as a designer I'm never totally satisfied, and we could always do things better, but I think this car is a packaging miracle.
Not every day that you come out with a concept car that makes a totally new statement to the world, and this has certainly done that, so I hope everybody's very proud of it.
It's just a smashing design. It's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, it looks terrific.
You're watching Sleepcore. Sleep tight.
Now, Estee Lauder Laboratories takes skincare as far as our modern technology can go. Now, Future Perfect Micro-Targeted Skin Gel. This microsome formula gives your skin the luminosity of younger skin. Digitized image analysis developed for the space program shows the actual improvement in the appearance of lines, wrinkles, and smoothness. Try it and feel the future working for you. At Dillard's.
I think that of the kind of entertainment that I'm doing and want to continue to do is in what we call an urban entertainment setting, whereby people will be able to go year-round to an indoor situation, just in the same way they'd go to a movie theater, but they'll go to a combination of very powerful environmental immersive experiences like simulator rides or virtual reality or 3D experiences or acoustic experiences, sound experiences, tactile experiences. A wide range of sensory immersion experiences is now emerging, and that will be the new indoor urban entertainment center of the very near future.
Another company which specializes in compact simulation units for urban entertainment centers is iWorks in Los Angeles.
This company was founded in 1986 under a general premise that the movie studios were focusing so much on what's happening in the home with home video and pay cable that they were not focusing as much on out-of-the-home entertainment. We knew that in the U.S. specifically, that at that time in 1986, movie theater attendance had been flat for 10 years. Here we are 5 or 6 years later, it's been flat for another 5 years, and last year it was down. With that, we have a general belief that the greatest untapped entertainment market today is in urban out-of-home markets. Cinetropolis is a name that we've given to a concept that we actually term a movie park. Movie park meaning that is a cross between a theme park in a movie complex. You may see a lot of short stories that together create a 90-minute experience. And it's a movie theater in that we use movie technologies, powerful movie technologies that are 10 times more exciting than a normal movie from a technology standpoint. So you combine a theme park with a movie theater complex, and that's Cinetropolis. The last theater is a virtual reality theater. This theater is so futuristic, we don't even know exactly what it's going to look like.
The level of graphic sophistication envisaged by iWorks is already available, but, up to now, it's been used exclusively in the high-cost training programs, many of them paid for by the military and civil aviation. Since the 1960s, Evans and Sutherland have pioneered interactive computer graphics of this kind, but world events have caught up with them. Now that the battle plans are being redrawn, they're turning their sights on the leisure industry. Technology which trained test pilots is now being targeted on the field of operations codenamed virtual reality.
If you got into the Air Force simulation, I tell you, it's thrilling. They had one in which they kind of came over to Los Angeles and went up Malibu on some sort of raid, I guess, over Madonna's house. And that was so thrilling that you could almost get airsick. But that's like a $10 million machine.
We are trying right now to apply primarily is our visual system technology, the interactive graphics, to the entertainment field.
I'm driving along here in the city database. I'm moving the eye point in real time, controlling it from the joystick here, so I can move anywhere in this database I want. We also have another red light here. I think I'll run it. I'll move down the side street here. Again, you see some more of the photo-derived texture. We have digitized a photograph of an actual building in Salt Lake City and applied that texture to the polygons. I'm going to pull the visibility in from about 50 miles down to about 5,000 feet. This is done in real time. I'm going to bring it in even further so that we're down to about 750 feet. This might be a very foggy day in any town, whether it's Salt Lake in the winter or London at any time.
A typical civil application of interactive graphics is the driving simulator, where the user is in total control of the environment and able to stop, start, and turn the vehicle at will, and in real time. The incredibly complex technology required to run this massive program has now been condensed into a unit the size of a photocopier, but the price has not contracted accordingly.
Move through different vehicles, which is going right through the cars. And then I'm able to also go through the buildings. The nice thing about simulation is when you crash, there's no mess.
Now remember, see, there's nothing very new about believing what's on an electronic screen. The average American watches television 7 hours a day like some amoeboid slug, passively being invaded by these electronic realities which are on the screen to get you to buy beer or to vote for Bush or something like that. So the idea of really believing, accepting, and having your life changed by what's going on the screen is almost addictive now.
The media has very much hyped up virtual reality to be something it's not. If you look at the most recent film that's been launched in the States in this country, Lawnmower Man, some of the quality of the graphics that's being used in that is way, way above what we can achieve at the moment if you intend putting that onto a three-dimensional or stereoscopic headset. If you look at the holodeck on Star Trek, The Next Generation, that is very, very many decades away in the future. When you read some of the newspaper articles where they're inviting you to take a fantasy space flight, or they're inviting you to become a macho man on a virtual beach, this is not the sort of effect that can be achieved with virtual reality in its current state.
I think having a couple of joints now is not nearly as culturally acceptable as it was in the 60s. The idea of putting on some goggles and being able to immerse yourself in some alternate reality is our culture's present version of a psychedelic drug alternate reality.
Graphics like these are not yet available in virtual reality, but will they ever become available for entertainment purposes at a virtually realistic price?
That technology could be brought to the entertainment market, but at a price no one would pay. And it's a question of when the speed and capabilities of that technology reach a point, which right now, the general discussion is people will pay $1 per minute for a virtual reality experience. That is the point that people have to reach. They have reached that now, but with only low-end virtual reality systems.
What virtual reality tries to achieve, it tries to achieve this immersion, this quality of immersion in a computer-generated world. It tries to achieve interaction with objects in that virtual world using the skills we were all born with. Now, to do that, it relies on quite well-proven and quite well-founded technologies, which are still very, very primitive. For example, you are requested to put on a headset that basically consists of a couple of pocket televisions to present imagery to the eyes of the user. It typically uses very primitive sensors on the glove to measure the movements of the fingers, and it uses quite primitive magnetic tracking systems that are mounted on the headset or on the glove to allow you to move through a three-dimensional world. The other issue is that the psychology of virtual reality is also the psychology of handicap. You're in a very deprived sensory world. You wear gloves that fail to respond to the commands of your real hand. You can't pick objects up. You find that fingers will disappear and poke out from some other side of the body. The imagery is moving around totally outside of your control, and you end up being very frustrated, very immobile, and not being able to do anything practical whatsoever. And these problems, these two analogies, migraine and handicap, which I think best describe the current level of virtual reality technology. The first thing I'm going to do is use this little cursor to select a 3D flying function. Select the rocket, press the green button for go, and now basically I fly in the direction I'm looking. And what I've got here is a virtual kitchen. One particular interesting line of research for the Japanese. You can fly up, and there's a frying pan. If I fly close enough and reach down, I can pick up this frying pan. Have a look at it, drop it on the floor, make it vanish altogether. Then we've got the teapot. Teapot. If I look at that, if I drop this here, the teapot will in fact drop down for some miles and carry on going into infinity.
Because we can control the experience. We can create an image with clarity that's 100-fold what today's virtual reality systems can create. On the other hand, we can't allow anyone to go their own path within our artificial world. And those are the two trade-offs. Do you want visual reality and a feeling of reality, or would you prefer to be in control of your experience?
One of the things that we've been hearing, particularly from Japan, is that within the next 12 months or so, possibly before the end of 1992, we will see the first domestic virtual reality system available for sale in this country. And after that, I believe that's the end of civilization as we know it, because as with the personal computer, it will become more and more accessible to members of the general public, not just those who go to arcade centres. Now, the computing power is developing at such a rate, and the costs are dropping at such a rate, that photorealistic quality of images is probably between 5 and 10 years away. I also think that some of the very sad trends we're seeing in society at the moment, being able to pick up a telephone and dial an adult chat line, will in fact develop into more of a visual and auditory and tactile sensation, and the technology will be there to support it. So we will have people, if you like, becoming very regressed into their own ways, their own worlds.
I could see it becoming extraordinarily addictive. To take one example, in America now, there's a huge in pornography. As actual sexual activity becomes increasingly dangerous, as many people said, there's in greater interest in pornographic material. Now, it's been said, and I can see no reason why this shouldn't be so, that one of the users of virtual reality would be the pornographic industry, which of course in America is a huge industry. It actually rivals Hollywood. It exceeds Hollywood in the amount of money it makes. Now, if they produced virtual reality pornography, I would have to say that I think for most people that would be a hell of a lot better than the real thing.
The famous interaction of television, etc., is finally becoming true, and at the same time you never get out of your isolation. So I don't think there is any special danger to it. The danger is really there in the constitution of the individual. The individual is basically very lonely.
Clearly would be, at some point in the future, a means of perhaps controlling people by providing them with something which was so exciting, which was so stimulating, which was so different from what they were getting in their rather humdrum lives, that they were prepared to go along with the system, go along with the regime, in order to qualify, perhaps for a token for good citizenship. You see, instead of a citizen's charter, what you get is a ticket to some sort of super theme park in the year 2050.
I know that there are people working on what they call retinal injection, which is the idea of, rather than the image being out here for me to look at, you could in fact treat your eyes as projector lenses, sort of reverse the idea, project an image into your retina rather than your eyes looking out into the world, so that it might be the experience of like a dream. You might be able to put into your head something that's like having a dream that's not out there, that's in here.